What's up, everyone? This is Joe with the Week 1 Team Builder for the NPBA. So this is the start of Season 3, and I'm currently not at my normal computer, so you can probably hear the sound quality is pretty bad. Unfortunately, I'm just going to have to live with this for this first video as well as the following one for the actual battle itself. It's the best I can do with the equipment I have, but once I get back to my normal setup, the sound quality should improve. Another thing, I'm going to be doing better graphics for these videos, but again, for the first week, I don't have my main computer right now, so I'm not really able to make better graphics, so we're just going to have to stick with my old method of just going on Pokemon Showdown. So, I'll go to my first matchup, and I will be facing the Albany Abomasnows. So that's the team actually right above me right here. So as you can see, I am the bottom team with Deoxys, Garchomp. My opponent is the top team with Mew, Aerodactyl, Scizor, and Fernape. So I'm going to go through his team quickly and then go through mine. First up with Mew. This is probably one of his biggest threats this week. It basically just gets everything. It can set up with Dragon Dance, Nasty Plot, Calm Mind, bulky sets with Iron Defense, Stored Power, gets Defog, Hazards, all the recovery moves. I definitely think this is going to be an offensive set this week just based on the defensive potential in some of his mid-tier Pokemon. So I would expect that to set up. Because of that, I've got a few things here meant to kind of keep that in check. Of course, I also have that Drapion, which is going to be nice to use knockoff. I'm not particularly weak to Psychic. Obviously, Hawlucha is weak. Otherwise, I resist with Deoxys and Celesteela, and I'm immune with Drapion. That said, it gets every move, so it doesn't really matter. Next up, he's got Mega Aerodactyl. This is going to be the fastest thing on the field besides my Deoxys speed. It has 150 base speed, so it can outspeed the entire team. With Tough Claws, it's going to hit super hard with something like Dual Wing Beat. Also gets Stone Edge, Earthquake, Elemental Fangs, Dragon Dance, and Hone Claws, as well as Roost, Defog, Stealth Rocks. This is also a pretty big threat. I'd expect this to definitely come this week. Unfortunately, Mega Manectric on my team is slower, so it can't really do much to it because it's just going to die to Earthquake. Next up on his team, he's got Scizor. This is a very bulky physical attacker. It gets Roost, Swords Dance, Bullet Punch, Technician, Bullet Punch boosted by Technician, Bug Bite also boosted by Technician, hurts quite a bit. Though, Bug Bite against my team is not really very good other than the Deoxys. I can't say for sure if this one's going to come this week. I can definitely take care of it. I have good fire coverage on my team. That said, it's still a great Pokemon. It's a good defogger. I could definitely see him bringing it. And choice band sets with Bullet Punch are going to be pretty scary. I think it'll probably come as an answer to this Deoxys, because Deoxys' only fire move is Fire Punch, which does not kill this because it just has too high of a defense stat. And of course, Scizor can easily kill me with something like Bug Bite or I think also Knockoff. And even U-turns are going to be pretty annoying. By the way, if you can't tell, I'm a bit sick/allergies right now, not really sure. If my voice sounds a little rough and deeper than normal, that's why I can't really talk in my normal voice right now. Anyway, next up he's got Infernape. Infernape's a huge threat this week. It's got amazing coverage, it gets Stealth Rock and U-turn. I see it being probably a special attacker just based on the physical bias of his team. He's got Mega Arrow and Scizor, which are both physically offensive. So I'd expect his fourth offensive mon to be a special attacker. Mew could be either one. After that, the rest of his team is pretty defensive or kind of mixed. So Infernape being a special attacker seems pretty likely. Because of that, I've built a little bit in preparation for that. It gets, probably for this matchup, he's just going to be running like standard moves, probably Overheat, maybe Focus Blast, Vacuum Wave, U-turn. If he wants to go physical, he could get Stone Edge. as well as I think Earthquake, maybe some poison move, I don't know. Regardless, this has 108 base speed, so it does outspeed the Garchomp. Thankfully, it has nothing to kill the Garchomp, I think, unless it's banded. I do live in Ice Punch. I could be wrong on that. I calced it once, but I may have done it wrong. Regardless, it is going to outspeed my Garchomp, but it does not outspeed my Hawlucha or my Mega Manectric, and of course Deoxys. So because of that, maybe he's a little wary to bring it. It's pretty bad into Tapu Fini. So I could definitely see him leaving Infernape behind this week, but I am kind of scared of it. Next up, Seismitoad. This is just a good bulky Pokemon. Only weak to grass. It's going to be kind of annoying to deal with, but not too bad. It can burn me with like Scald. I think it gets Stealth Rock, and overall just kind of a tanky support slash, I don't know, kind of annoying Pokemon. I do have a few grass moves on the team just to help with that. Rotom-Mow here is definitely coming. It's his main way of breaking the Celesteela. Infernape can also beat Celesteela, but it does not want to take Air Slash. Rotom-Mow can do a lot of damage to Celesteela for sure. It's also pretty good into my Tapu Fini, so Rotom-Mow is definitely coming this week. Thankfully, Drapion, if you can't tell, Drapion's amazing here. It deals with his Mew and his Rotom-Mow, and it does decent damage elsewhere. But other than that, Rotom-Mow's a pretty big annoyance this week. Of course, it has Defog and Will-O-Wisp, which I really am pretty scared of Will-O-Wisp getting onto my Garchomp. So Rotom-Mow definitely a big threat this week. Porygon 2, potential Trick Room. It has Teleport. It can Status. It can Recover. Kind of a bulky pivot, I would say, now that it has Teleport. Not really that big of a threat. It can be kind of an offensive thing with like special attacking moves, but it's not that strong. He's got better attackers anyways. I don't know if he'll bring it. It's okay here. Kind of loses to Hawlucha. I'm also not bringing Hawlucha, by the way. I'm kind of hoping he preps for Hawlucha and then wastes moves on it, because I actually don't think it's amazing here, considering Mega Aerodactyl and Scizor and Mew are really annoying into it, but it's good otherwise. Anyway, Clefairy, I mean, the only reason he would bring Clefairy is for Garchomp, and even then it's not that good into it, so I'm not too worried about Clefairy. Guzzlord, I don't know what Guzzlord even does. It's just kind of a bulky attacker. I don't think it's a very good Pokemon. I don't see him bringing it. It's terrible into Tapu Fini, as well as Garchomp. I guess it's kind of good into Deoxys Speed, so that's a thing, I guess. Avalugg is actually not the worst here. He probably won't bring it, but it's a spinner. It has ice moves. I'm a bit weak to ice, so he might bring that. And then Basculin, it's not good. It's not coming. If he wants to bring Basculin, he might as well just bring Seismitoad. So what I think he's going to bring, honestly, probably just these first 6 Pokemon. Mew, Mega Arrow, Scizor, Infernape, Seismitoad, and Rotom-Mow. I don't think he brings Clefairy, Guzzlord, or Basculin. There's a small chance of Porygon 2, and I actually think an okay chance of Avalugg. But I think it's fair to say he's probably just going to bring one of his first few. So, excuse me. Moving on to my team, I'm going to go over to Teambuilder. First up, I've got Deoxys Speed. I haven't given them nicknames yet. I guess you'll see those in the battle. But you guys can tell me in the comments what my reference is when I nickname them, because they're all going to be under the same theme. This is just an offensive Deoxys Speed. I consider choice specs, but he has a lot of switch-ins if I lock myself into a move. So I just went with a Life Orb set, max special attack, enough speed to outspeed the Mega Arrow. I'm not running Thunderbolt because it doesn't actually kill the Mega Arrow in one hit, so it wasn't really worth it to me to run. I could just hit him with something on the switch and then kill him with Psycho Boost, because Psycho Boost is actually stronger than Thunderbolt. Dark Pulse is of course for Mew. Mew is pretty scary. I need something to hit it. Energy Ball is for the Seismitoad. Again, it's really bulky. It can wall some of my stuff. It's actually pretty good in this matchup, so Having a grass move is going to be pretty important there. Psycho Boost is my main attack, and then Focus Blast, it's for the off chance of a Porygon 2 or a Guzzlord. It's also just strong in general. It's my strongest move besides Psycho Boost. If I want to fire it off just for damage and not lower my stats, it's an option. There's not a lot to say here. This is just a good fast attacker, kind of a cleanup revenge killer, and is a kind of a late game sweeper if needed. Next up, Tapu Fini. So I have a defensive Tapu Fini this week. It's my defogger. The issue with Tapu Fini defog is you remove your Misty Surge, which or Misty Terrain, which means you're going to be vulnerable to status. That said, looking at his team, I don't really care that much. I'm not going to stay in on Rotomo anyway, which would be like, if Rotomo is going to Toxic me, he might as well just Leaf Storm or Volt Switch, right? The only thing that getting status matters for is maybe the Seismitoad, but even then, I still think it's worth having Defog here. I've got Grass Knot for Seismitoad, and then Hydro Pump's just kind of my main stab. I could run Surf, I could even run Scald if I want to kind of do a Defog into Scald thing, but I think Hydro Pump's just the best here. It does a lot of damage, even though I'm not invested in Special Attack, except for 4 EVs. It's going to be pretty nice. This is going to be a good answer to Scizor, as well as the Mega Aerodactyl. Hydro Pump does a lot. It might kill the Mega Aerodactyl, and having max defense is really going to help out there. Taunt is for the Mew. This is a decent lead, this Tapu Fini, because I can lead, and if he leads with Mew, I can taunt, and then he can't Stealth Rock, he can't set up, he can't recover. It's decent into Mega Arrow and Scizor for Stealth Rock reasons, and otherwise it's generally useful. Taunt was kind of a filler move. I could also run Haze, I think it gets Haze. That was kind of the other option. I just thought Taunt had a little more utility. The last option would have just been like Knock Off, or maybe a Fairy move, but he's not really weak to Fairy. As you can see, his only Fairy weakness is Guzzlord, which is terrible, so I don't really care about that. Next up, I have Drapion. As I said, Drapion is actually amazing here. This is a Scope Lens Sniper set. So Scope Lens plus Cross Poison has a 50% chance to crit. And with Sniper, that's going to be, rather than a 1.5 times damage, it's going to be 2.25. So Cross Poison here is incredible because he has only Scizor as a Steel type. And otherwise, I can basically use it on everything. It's not good into the arrow because rock resists poison, actually. Some people don't know that, but most people do. Anyway, rock resists poison, so it's not good into the arrow, but he has Earthquake anyway. Sorry if you just heard some sound. I just had a bit of a computer error, but it's all good. Cross Poison's really just going to hurt everything on his team. Knockoff is great for switches. And then Fire Fang for the Scizor, and of course Toxic Spikes is amazing because he has no poison types. It's going to be really good on his Mew and his Seismitoad to just chip them down. It's not amazing because he has Scizor, Rotomo, and Mega Arrow that all don't care about Toxic Spikes, but I still think it's pretty good. It's got the speed to outspeed, let's see, 299. It should outspeed, I think it outspeeds Rotomo. Yeah, Rotomo should be 298 speed, which I should outspeed that and be able to get a Cross Poison off, which will actually one-hit kill, unless he's like max defense or for some reason running like the Poison Berry. Anyway, Drapion here is quite good. It has really good physical defense and decent attack. Along with Sniper, it's going to do a lot of damage. Also, the Scope Lens isn't just for Cross Poison. Obviously, Oh, I'm so sorry. Obviously, Cross Poison has 50% chance to crit, but Fire Fang and Knockoff still have a 12.5% chance, which is not bad. Next up, I've got a nice Stall Celesteela set. This is specially defensive, of course, for that Mew and Infernape and Rotomo. I don't want to take too much damage from them, so going max Spadef here is pretty nice. I've got Leech Seed, Protect, Air Slash, and Flamethrower. So I'll go through each move. Air Slash is kind of the main stab. It does a lot to Infernape. And then in general, it's just kind of the move I'm going to use. Flamethrower is pretty strong because it has Scizor and Rotomo. It's the way of beating Rotomo, because normally I'd rather just use Leech Seed and Protect and occasional Air Slash, but with Flamethrower it means, first of all, I could just kill Scizor, and I don't get walled by Rotomo, because I can't Leech Seed the Rotomo. There's a case to be made for Toxic over Air Slash, actually, and just going full stall, but I like the option because it makes it a little less safe for him to just switch into Infernape on me. Again, leftovers, just want to get as much healing as possible, because Celesteela doesn't get like Roost or Recover or anything like that. So this is going to be a nice special wall to pair with my physically defensive Feeny. Next up, this is kind of my more sweeping Pokemon. I have a Scale Shot, Life Orb, Garchomp set. I almost ran Swords Dance to go full sweeping. The issue with that is Scizor is just pretty annoying here. And I really wanted to have Fire Blast to be able to kill Scizor. Unless he's like specially defensive, in which case then he's kind of wasting his Scizor as a special wall. So with Scale Shot, I'll be able to outspeed his entire team. Earthquake can do a ton of damage to basically everything. Fire Blast also does a lot to Rotomo. Depending on his spread, it might be the better option. And then, I don't know, Stone Edge for Mega Arrow. Let's see. It's kind of just coverage. Garchomp has insanely high attack. His speed is to outspeed base 100 Mew. And hopefully with this, I can just get a Scale Shot off and pretty much win from there. Really sorry about that, everyone. These allergies are not doing me well. I'm going to drink some water. Alright, so as I was saying, Garchomp's kind of the main win condition for this game. Drapion and Deoxys Speed are more like, they're not really meant to stand on everything, whereas Garchomp's kind of meant to kill everything. Lastly, I have the Utility Mon Kabutops. Gets Knockoff, Aqua Jet, Stealth Rock, Leech Life. Leech Life is really strong here for Mew, as well as Rotomo. And the rest of the moves are Aqua Jet for priority, Knockoff to just knock off everything, and Stealth Rock is pretty good into the Mega Arrow. I'm running a bulky set. I've got to stop this recording. I'm sorry, everyone. But I'm running a bulky set because it can live most hits. And weak armor because this could be a late game sweeper if needed. Alright, everyone. I'm so sorry about the coughing and everything. If you stuck through this, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the battle. Bye.